GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. It's midweek. It's Wednesday, May 11th. Welcome to the National Outlook. Government again, from last Friday's Kaieteur newspaper. GPA flags government's obsession with social media commentators. Says politicians must cease degrading noble journalism profession. That's a whole mouthful, and it came from the Guyana Press Association, and I agree with it. The business of this country, the business of the peoples of this country, hopeful people, expectant people, poor people, their business must be in the mainstream. It must not be in some dirty corner. Let me say that again. The business of the people of this country, of all Guyanese, belong in the mainstream media and not in some nasty, dirty corner. I'm sure everybody understands me by that. And this is what the government has been doing, practicing, perfecting. This social media. How do we go and talk as a leader on the big issues of our nation, the big developments with social media people who are in, as to quote from the GPA, the Press Association, contribute to the degradation of journalism at the altar of expediency of reach, likes and shares. I'm not on social media and I have no interest or time for likes and shares and all that nonsense. I talk to you, I tell you what I think, you agree, you disagree, and we go from there. Now, does this mean that anyone with a few followers, limited language competence, that was a big lash, no regard for fact-checking, etc., can be regarded by himself or herself and the public as a journalist because a politician uses him or her as an information conduit? I think that was a blast from the GPA at what the government is doing, and that the people they are using, in other words, they're incompetent, they're untrustworthy, they're unreliable, they are unqualified because they don't have any substance about them. I think I largely agree with that too in most instances. So the government finds it fitting to attack people like me and others, Glenn Lal included, who dare to speak out against them, write against its wrongdoings. And so, but when it has its own stories to tell, where it can be questioned, they run to social media. They run to the state media. And I think that's wrong. My sister, that's wrong. Our story is not some nasty story that got to be hidden away. It needs to be out there in the public. It needs to be before every one of us. Whether we follow, whether we criticize. Let it be there so all of us can go through it, those of us who are interested, and get the real stories of what government is doing and what is not doing, what is doing good, and what it's doing poorly. Think about that, weigh it in your minds, turn it over in your mind, sift through it, and see if what the Press Association is saying, what I'm agreeing with, makes sense to you. I'm GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Thank you for listening to the National Outlook.